Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its forms. And I'm talking with my buddy from the Czech Republic, JIRKA. Say hello, JIRKA.
Hello, everybody.
And JIRKA and I have been talking since sort of off and on since late last year. It's now June, the end of June in 2024. When he came to us, he's a university student. He's studying computer science. And when he came to us, he said he'd been stuttering since the second grade. And he said in about half his conversations, about half his words were problems. And so, most of it was almost all blocks and silences, a handful of repeats, but mainly blocks and silences, all normal for stuttering guys like him and me. And so he had therapy around age 6, 7, and so forth, and again in his teens. They worked on breathing and on acceptance, and of course we don't accept it. We see no reason to accept it. We're not going to accept it. We're going to reject it, and we're going to replace it with the habit of fluency, which JIRKA is well on the road of doing. He's getting very close to doing that. So he comes to SAM meetings where we meet on Saturdays quite frequently, which is helping him. And his presence helps others as well. And sometimes he says some things there, which is good, because there are dozens of people staring at him saying, putting heat on anyone who talks in a sense, just by their being there. So he's learning how to enjoy that. Are you having a good time at SAM? Yes,
of course.
Good. And do you ever do any practice sessions? I don't remember. Practice sessions.
Like
you can sign up for them on WSSA and practice with other people like yourself, and some of the coaches go there.
Yeah, I know. Like I was never like a host, but I'm go there for like very often, like
Good.
At least 3 times a week. So yeah, and
good. So that's helping you.
Yeah, of course they are really great, and yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. So when we were talking in March, you'd had one bad day. I was at school with classmates, and I urged you to use your speech plan, really every word out of your mouth, because it seems like for so many people, that's the only way they can really master it. So then they can do it under pressure. Their mind doesn't go blank, and they don't panic because they practiced it so much. So we're working on, we use a sound launch. We use sound to launch or what we're going to say. Oh, my name is Lee. This is an English class. I'm headed to lunch. I'll have a hamburger. You were using kind of a sound and then linking, stopping, and also as you learn to do that, I then asked you to think a lot about the message. And if you can focus on how can I say it like I really mean it, if you can do that, school's out, you're done. In terms of fluency, you're done. Now, I did a session yesterday, and you should go watch it, with a guy named Ibross, Ibross, and this guy is he lives in London. He's a Muslim, young guy, 20, 22 years old. Terrible stutter, much worse than you, and he's almost beaten it now. And you should watch this session because he's doing it mainly by thinking about, how can I say it like I mean it? That's what he's doing, and it's really working for him. So I think you should watch that session. Okay, let's see, then we talked again on the middle of March, and you'd said you'd had a bad incident almost hourly. That was a bad week, 2 to 3 per day or something, usually in class or talking to a friend next to him. So I urged him to hold his sound through all words. I am doing it right now. How are you? Where are you going? Can you do that? How are you? Do that.
How are you?
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
I'll have a hamburger, please.
I'll have a hamburger, please.
May I help you?
May I help you?
Will you help me?
Will you help me?
And you feel it, the sound through the words, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you? Because that's like singing. Singing, stutterers normally don't stutter when they sing. And one of the main reasons is they're holding their sound through their words. When you hold your sound through your words, it blows the problem away. Yeah.
That's true.
So have you been doing that at all? Have you been doing that method?
Yeah, like when I'm in a very pressured situation, yes, I use this. But sometimes it's still hard for me to, like start. Like with the first letter, it's sometimes really hard. Yeah, I can use the crush 4, of course, but sometimes it's, so much in a words, like I don't know how to say. It's like sometimes it's too much pressure on me that I'm not able to use my crush 4, even though like my sound launch.
You let the pressure overpower your focus on the solution.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
arm wrestling. It's like arm wrestling.
Yeah.
One hand is focusing on the solution, and the other one is the habit that's always there, and it's intensified. JIRKA, the habit cannot win. If you use the method, the habit will always lose. The bad habit will always lose. It can't beat you. You can always make a sound, JIRKA.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you can make a sound, you can talk. I make a sound, and I can talk. I always can. Now, in the alternative in Crutch 4, as you know, you can use another word. When you're blocked, it's always one word, one letter, one word, one syllable, one letter. It's always that. One word, one syllable, one letter. Every other word you can say at that time. Now, if you focus on it, plan it, fear it, now you're right back where you started with the prior word. You must say it before you hesitate, think about it, plan it, and so forth. That's another word. With a sound, you don't have to think about that because you can always make a sound. So another thing we did is, which we used the first word as a sound launch. JIRKA is my name. Say that.
JIRKA is my name.
Coach Lee is my coach.
Coach Lee is my coach.
Computer studies are my major.
Computer studies are my major.
Now, when you use the first word, the first syllable, the first letter as a sound launch, that'll work too. So
yeah.
You got three things you can do there that are easy. A sound, another word, or use the exact word as a sound launch. Now, crutch 8 also works great, and that's coming out of your voice register.
Mm-hmm.
Going high or low. JIRKA, say that.
JIRKA.
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 Coach Lee.
Coach Lee.
Coach Lee.
Coach Lee.
The minute you come out of your voice range, you broke the block. That's the fourth thing you can do. Look, I understand your problem with the pressure on first words. I understand that because that was my primary problem. However, it cannot beat you unless you let it. But your focus has to be harder on the solution, more intense than the strength of that automatic habit that you've developed to have a problem with first words. It's an arm wrestling match. Which one is stronger? Well, if one is faltering, use another one. You know, you just keep switching until you got one that works. And always remember, another word always works. If you can say well, so, or and, when you're thinking about, I got a problem saying Czech Republic, or whatever the problem is, you say another word. Well, Czech Republic, say that.
Well, Czech Republic.
So, Czech Republic.
So, Czech Republic.
So, Czech, you have to swallow the C a little bit. So, Czech Republic.
So, Czech Republic.
Well, Singapore.
Well, Singapore.
So, stuttering.
So, stuttering.
And London.
And London.
Yeah. Those are filler words. And they'll work. So that's like, you know, we've rattled off about 5 things you can do. You can always, you know, and you're getting to the point of that Ebros is in, who really, who, as I said, stuttered worse than you. And I think he's close to beating it at this point. And what's he doing mainly right now? He is thinking about the minute he starts talking under pressure, he starts thinking about how can I say it in a more convincing way? I'll have a hamburger, please. Say that.
I'll have a hamburger, please.
And may I have some mustard and ketchup with it?
And may I have some mustard and ketchup with it?
And some French fries. Yum.
And so French fries.
Yum.
Yum, okay.
It's all part of being an actor. Look, holding back is what causes stuttering. Thinking a word, fearing it, and forcing it. Holding back. When you think about how can I say it in an interesting way, you're doing the opposite of holding back. You're overwhelming the problem with a different thought process. We just think differently about our speech. We stop letting the habit take control. Somehow the habit got in control. We made some innocent mistakes. Some people laughed. We got nervous. We made some more mistakes. They laughed more. We got more nervous. And it's a snowball. We got in trouble. Or we had a relative that we monkey see, monkey do. We got going that way. Most of us didn't, though. Most of us started it on our own. But the minute we think, the minute we reprogram our minds, the minute we dictate our thinking, the minute we do that, the stuttering stops. The stuttering can't win unless we let it. It can't win. There's no way it can win. But the thing is, you can't allow, we have to, in terms of making mistakes, fine. I make mistakes all the time, but I don't appear to have a speech disability. I make a few mistakes. I even force a word once in a while, or I forget what I was going to say. I pause too long. So what? Nobody gives a darn. Nobody remembers. And if they did, they don't care. They got a million problems. They're not grading our speech. Now, if we can't talk, if we wipe out, what's your name? Legal. That's a wipeout. If we do that, we humiliate ourselves. That's a bad incident. We cannot have any bad incidents. None, zero. We can make mistakes all day long, but we cannot wipe out like that. And
Yes.
how do we avoid it? We use our speech plan. We use crutches. Sometimes we talk a little bit less. But our goal is, when we start thinking about message and passion, we don't even need the crutches. We become actors. I want to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer me with as much passion as you can muster.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is the one which is on the table, and it's like hot, it's warm, and I'm ready to eat it. So I don't have any like favorite one.
You don't have any favorites? It's just hot food? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I would say that my favorite foods are made by my grandmas. So
Okay.
yeah, like spaghettis, some pasta, some Czech specialties, of course. Like dumplings and other stuff are really great there. And yeah, I don't remember like what's special like here like right now, but yeah. And like other stuff like pancakes is the best from my grandma's, of course.
I had a grandmother like that, and but her specialty was donuts. And when I'd come home from school, man, I had a line of guys behind me because you could smell the donuts when you hit our front yard, And they were all behind me looking for one of my grandmother's donuts. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, from a fluency standpoint, great. From the standpoint of really enthusiastic speech,
yeah, I know.
tough.
I have to get it a
You gotta
better.
put out. You gotta put
Yeah,
out like you mean it. You gotta
okay.
say it like you mean it. Say that. I'll say it like I mean it. Say that.
I'll say it how I mean it. It's not
I
great.
love to talk over the top.
I love to talk over the top.
I love to talk
I love to talk
over the top.
over the top.
That's my way.
That's my way.
Don't you see?
Don't you see?
Can't you get it?
Can you get it?
It's fun.
It's fun.
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 When you watch Ebros video, when we hang up, watch a video on YouTube.
Yeah, I have to find out.
I think it's the last one I posted yesterday. And you'll hear him talking over the top. And he's really getting into it. But you gotta, it's like you kind of you hold back a little, and I want you to be, have reckless abandon with being over the top. So well, I don't want to talk that way. People think I'm strange. No, they won't. No, they won't. And they'll like it. People who are really enthusiastic are more fun. They're more interesting. They're full of life. You have no reason to hold back. Do the reverse. You got to do the reverse. Be out front. Be over the top. And if you smile when you do it, it'll be easier. Say, I'm going to smile when I do it now.
I'm gonna smile when I do it now.
I want to see teeth. I'm
No,
going to
you
smile.
I'm gonna smile.
That's it. That's it. That's it. It's fun. Say that.
It's fun.
Talking in class is a blast. Say that.
Talking in class, blast.
Talking to my friends is easy.
Talking to my friends is easy.
Soon, I'm going to talk better than any of them.
Soon, I'm gonna talk better than any of them.
And I'm not even competing with them.
And I'm not even competing with them.
I'm competing with myself.
I'm competing with myself.
JIRKA versus JIRKA.
JIRKA versus JIRKA.
Self-control is a key to happiness. Say that.
Self-control is the key to happiness.
JIRKA, the fact that I have to push you so hard to get you to be over the top shows the core of the problem. You're still a little bit reluctant to jump in the pool and swim. You're still trying to do it from the side of the pool. And there's no reason to do that. Speaking is like breathing. It's automatic. And it's as easy as breathing. It requires no thought. It requires a message. A message is thought, but the brain picks all the words. Whether they're picking Czech words or English words or French words or whatever, the brain is doing all that. You don't have to do anything. Once you learn the words, you don't have to do anything. You just let go and you're fluent. And to help let go, you try to be over the top. The more you are, the easier it is to be fluent. And once you realize, you don't realize yet, unfortunately, that there's no word that you can't say everywhere, anytime. You can say any word, anywhere, anytime. You know too many ways to do it, JIRKA. You've run out of excuses. You've run out of excuses.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, like in some way, and in some like places, it's it's still hard for me. But you know,
Yes,
like on
but
yeah,
why
yeah,
are you
yeah.
dwelling on that? The fact that when's the last time that you really humiliated yourself? Whether it was for 30 seconds or 10 minutes, that you really humiliated yourself with your speech. When was the last one?
With my speech, let me think. Like in a recent past, I
I mean,
don't remember.
I mean what I said. When is the last time, if it was 1 minute ago or 6 months ago, that you really humiliated you? I don't mean that you had a little minor mistake or you repeated a few words or you forced a word once in a while or you took a little too long to say something. I mean where you humiliated yourself.
Yeah, it was like a longer time ago. It's something like a weeks ago, maybe. Like really humiliating myself. Let me think for a second, because um, yeah, I will remember it. Yeah, I know. Like a month ago, I think it happened. Like I met like my mom a friend, and she told me hello, and I was in really a hurry, and I wasn't like able to like say hello back, and I was like, yeah, that was bad. I didn't like it, but at the
What
second
would you do
pass,
now? Same
right now,
situation. How would you, what would you do?
of course, I think no, not I think I will use the lower voice register, and I will hope that it will help me. Like I didn't say like hello. I would say like hello, maybe. Or if I can feel the crush 4 is possible for me, that's a moment, I would do something like hello or something like that. But at that time I wasn't like not a focus, but I didn't expect to see someone like that, or like I didn't expect this situation right now, so I wasn't prepared, and when it comes I wasn't ready for it. It sounds kind of strange maybe, but yeah, it was like a really surprise for me.
Well, how about the minute when you're surprised, when surprised, um, any kind of surprise, um, smile, 2001, 1002, and use a speech plan. Now, you should have one that's a pressure speech plan that you know to me, what you just said, you said several things, and each one of them will work if you do them. Take it to account and use the speech plan. So, um, most people that I work with have a specific speech plan that may have multiple parts, but every example that you gave will work. And you said maybe after it, but they'll all work. You can say either or,
Yeah.
this or this or this or this. Maybe you should have a favorite go-to pressure thing that you always do. So you don't want the problem to be, I have so many answers, I don't know which one to take. You don't want that problem. So what is the easiest one you could use?
Like as you said, like with the smiling and the crutch 4.
Okay, so we're gonna say, Smile, take 2 count, and use crutch 4. Okay, I'll buy that. And then once you start, that gets you past the first word. Then it's short, link, stop.
Yeah.
You know? Look, if you hold your sound through your words, you're never going to stutter. Once you started talking, you're never going to stutter. You can't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you keep it very short. You don't count your words, but you keep it short. Hum through your words. Stop at least 1 second. Look, smiling is a wonderful thing because it's friendly. Everybody loves to smile. When you smile at people, they think you're glad to see them. So they're glad to see you. That's the way people are. Greet them with a smile. That's when you're surprised, start smiling. Use crutch 4 in the first word and short link, stop, boom. I do think you need to practice speaking over the top, though. I think you need to practice that because you still don't do it with as much passion as I would like. I want you to be more extreme. Life is short. Throw yourself into it. You know, don't hold back. What do you hold back for your next life? You're going to do it? No, this is the life. This is the only one you get as far as we know. You know, so let's use it. So, thinking how it with feeling by itself is, I mean, just as a general habit. This is what Ebros is doing. I told you several times today, he had a much worse stutter than you. And it wasn't long ago. We're talking this year, I don't know which month, February, whatever, I don't know. But he was stuttering basically every word. He characterized himself to me in writing as the worst stutterer I'll ever hear. Well, he's actually not the worst stutterer I've ever heard. I've heard worse. But he was pretty bad. And when you watch this video that I did yesterday, you're going to say, where's his stutter? I don't hear any stuttering. Look, if he can do it, you can do it. He doesn't have any skills you don't have. But you need to, I think, you said a magic thing though that I really liked here. And you finally, look, part of beating it is admitting that you're not having bad incidents. People think, well, if they're nervous, you know, if they're uncomfortable, it's a bad incident. That's not true. 99.9% of the people on the planet are uncomfortable talking to groups, to authorities, to strangers. They are. They just don't show it by stuttering. They have other ways of showing it. They don't talk. They grow pimples on their face. Seriously, they get headaches, stomach aches. They hide. You're not alone, Nate. The whole human race has a problem, almost all of them, talking to strangers and groups and so forth. And it's ridiculous. The audience doesn't change anything. All you need to do is keep doing what you're doing, not having bad incidents, and talking is to the max, everywhere, all the time. The more you can talk in your stutter-free zones, the more you can talk under pressure without having a bad incident is a success. It's pass or fail. It's not about how eloquent you are at this point. It's only about, did you pass or fail? Well, did you have a bad incident? No, you passed. That's it. And when you sit there and tell me you haven't had a bad incident in a month, I believe you, and that's the first step to beating it, is admitting that you're not having bad incidents. A lot of people can't do that. Even when they're winning, they think they're losing. Well, that's no way to think about life. You're winning. Be grateful. Count your blessings. Keep at it. Keep doing better. When you're the best you can be, and you're not yet, I'm not either, but I'm closer to it than you are, because I've been at it longer. But the closer you get to it, the easier it gets, the more fun it is. And the sooner, the irony of this is that so many of the people I coach, seriously, within 6 months of the time we met, they've become the best speaker they know. That's not so bad, is it?
No, of course not.
You can be another member of that club. You just got to keep at it. You got to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing your mind training every day, right?
Yes.
And look, JIRKA, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, don't ever quit mind training. If you don't want to do it about speech, fine. Do it about something else. Do it about your work ethic. Do it about anger, anxiety, jealousy, hatred, greed, insomnia, back pain. Just do it. Dictate your thoughts. Say after me, I have free choice.
I have free choice.
To accept or reject thoughts.
To accept or reject thoughts.
Nothing compels me to think anything.
Nothing compels me to think anything.
Except my own desires.
Except my own desires.
So I'll use my mental switch.
So I'll use my mental switch.
And dictate my thoughts.
And dictate my thoughts.
I believe that I can improve.
I believe that I can improve.
And I will.
And I will.
That's right. You believe that?
It's in the start of your book, right? Your books, of course.
All the books.
From the psychiatrist.
That's the best advice I ever got in my life.
Isn't that from the psychiatrist Escaprio, Frank Escaprio?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
that is worth saying every time you do your mind training, to open it up with that statement, because it helps you realize how important it is to dictate your thoughts. That's what neuroscience is. Neuroscience is the science of study of the neurons, the nerves in your head. And neurology is knowledge and study of it. And we use a neuroscience method. Neuroscience tells us that the brain is not hardwired ever as long as we live, that we can rewire our brains as long as we live. And that's what you and I are doing with our mind training. That's why it's so important. That's why it's more important than eating. Skip breakfast, skip lunch, skip dinner. Don't skip your mind training.
Mhm.
You can get along without the meal. A lot easier than you can get along without mind training. If you're having a problem with a relationship, have an affirmation that deals with it. If you're having a problem with a subject at school, have an affirmation that deals with it. If you tend to get too angry or too anxious or something, have an affirmation that deals with that.
Mhm.
If you're anxious, I don't know, most people, anxiety is the biggest problem of mankind, I believe, medically speaking. I believe that's a consensus in the medical world. Of course, speech anxiety leads to stuttering in some cases, leads to many other things too. But you're not going to, speech anxiety is going to be your past. You're not going to have speech anxiety. You're going to be way, way ahead of the pack, way ahead of your friends. In due course, when they ask for somebody to be master of ceremonies at the class party or the school party or something like that, raise your hand and do it. Do it. It's fun. I've been doing it for years and I love it. I never miss an opportunity to get up and run my mouth. It's so much fun. I generally write out what I'm going to say and shorten it and polish it and memorize it. Or I take it with me and I look at it as I need to remind me what I'm going to say. Even the shortest thing. I went to a birthday party for a friend who turned 80 this week. And I love doing it. I told a story about, it's a woman, and she was a very cute blonde in her day. And I told a story about how I first met her. And I gave, and how she had when I was talking to her, I just met her, and I felt sort of a mist or something, and I looked around, I thought there was a leak in the ceiling or something. And so I kept talking to her, and I felt another mist. And then finally I got a whack, bam, and I looked at her lapel. She had a flower on there that was dripping water, and she had a bulb in her hand, and she was squeezing the bulb, and this flower was squirting me in the face. I just met her. She didn't know me from Adam. And it was wonderful. And I said to myself, this girl, my wife is going to love this girl. And she did and does. And I gave him a lot of quotes about age. I've been a reader. I've read a book. I think I've said to you that I've read a book a week most of my life. And I don't anymore. I'm too busy helping people like you and writing stuttering stuff. But I read a book a week for about 50 years. And it really helped me a lot. And I made notes of what I read. And I have lots of quotes. I have many, many pages of quotes on different subjects. And so I was talking to her about age, of course, I mean, being a party for her birthday. So I had quotes about age. And people enjoyed them, and so using quotes is, people love to know what great people or other people have said. They don't really care what you've said or I've said, but they care a lot about if Socrates said it, or if Shakespeare said it, or Winston Churchill said it, or some famous actor or sports person said it, or some TV star said it, then it's important. So if I get good quotes, I always lay them on them, you know, and people love that because it gives them, it sort of elevates the conversation. Wait a minute, what's this? Hold on just a second. What do you want? I'm talking to one of my students. What do you want? Well, let's see. Let me see. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on, JIRKA. I gotta just do something quick here. I'm almost finished with this guy. Hold on just a second. Why don't I call you as soon as I hang up with this guy? All right. Okay, thanks. All right, so JIRKA, a good part of beating it in closing is admitting that you're beating it. If you're not willing to admit you're beating it, you're never going to beat it. Never.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're back to, I've quoted Henry Ford, the inventor of the automobile, many times. It's Sam, he's the one who said, when I say I can or I can't, I'm right. And that's the same for you and me with our speech. When you say I can beat it, I can. When I say I can, I can't. Now, in this case, it's a question of present and past tense. I have beaten it or I haven't. Look, if you're not appearing speech disabled, you've won. Is the fear gone? No. Is your speech where you'd like it to be? No. But you're not a speech disabled guy anymore. You know, I mean, you've got to be willing to look in the mirror and admit that to yourself. That's the old JIRKA. I left him back there. It's kind of like in high school, I had the worst batting average on my team in high school. We were like second or third in the state of Missouri. We had a great team. I had the worst average on the team. In college, I had the best average on the team for 2 years, my college team. What did I do? I taught myself how to hit. Now, was I dwelling in the past when I was in college? Oh, Lee can't hit, he always strikes out. No, I wasn't. And you can't hold on to the past either. You've got to be willing to admit, I know crutch 4. I can use it. So if somebody surprises me, so what? I'm going to smile in their face. Hey, so nice to see you or meet you or whatever. And pause as long as you like. Use crutch 4. Speak in short increments. Hum through your words. Stop and keep smiling.
Yes.
You're good. You're doing it, man. You're doing it. It's been a month. I think you should write some kind of stop stuttering story. If you don't like your English, you want me to write one and you rewrite it, that's fine too. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you should. I mean, I want you to look, second base, you're not there. That's planning words. Third base, loving to speak everywhere, you're not there. A home plate, converting stuttering into a blessing, you're not there. But first base, you're there.
Yes.
It's been a month. I think it's time. So do you want to write it and send it and email it to me, or do you want me to try to write you something? I don't care.
Yeah, I would like to try it, to like make some points. First of all, I will make some bullet points, and then I will try to make a sentence, like from the part, like how I joined this, and how I was able to like speak to myself, then speak to my family, then speak to my friends, and and other stuff, and speaking to like in hard situations. I will leave it there and wait for the future, like a month, maybe 2, I don't know.
Well, write it. write it and email it to me. You can't wait a month or 2 months or whatever to post. We have 1 month. No, in our opinion, and there are more of us than there are of you. In our opinion, anyone who goes a month without having a bad incident, no card-carrying, legitimate, speech-disabled stutterer can go a month without a bad incident unless they have stopped stuttering at the level of appearing speech-disabled.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they post their stop stuttering story. That's first base. You can't go to second base until you're standing on first. Well, if you won't admit that you're standing on first when you're standing there, how are you going to get to second? So second base is not planning words. That's another subject. We gotta. This gets involved in being passionate and being a little more comfortable with our speech plan. And the more bases you go around, eventually there comes the time when you wonder what the problem was. Almost. I mean, I can still remember it, believe me, but you wonder what it was. I love to speak, man, and I want you to love to speak just the way I do, and you can.
Yeah, I know in some ways I'm able to, like speaking to my friends, to my family, to you. It's really great and I enjoying it. But it's still not on the top if I wanted to, like speaking to in a school sometimes it's really still hard. But I'm
It's really still
so
hard,
grateful.
but you're not wiping out and you are communicating.
Huh. What is the question? Sorry.
It is harder at school under pressure, but you are still communicating what you need to say.
Yes, of course, but I don't love to.
Disabled. You may, blow a few words once in a while or take a little longer, but you're not humiliating yourself.
No, not even more like, yeah. I don't
That's when you need to post your story, because you can't keep saying, I'm at home plate, I'm at home plate, I'm at home plate, because you're not. You can't go to second until you get to first. You at first. So write the story, or I'll have to come to the Czech Republic and give you my famous knuckle symbol. Those are your
Yes, of course. Yes, I have to find a really great place to hide from you.
All right, look, I'll see you at Sam. Write your story, and when do you want to meet again? You want to meet again in a couple of weeks or something and discuss?
Yeah,
go over your
I
story?
would love to.
All right, so let me just put that in.
Mm-hmm. I open my calendar.
You want me to put you in for 11 or 12? You called me at 12.
12th of July, correct? Friday.
No, yes, but you want me to put you down for you called me today at noon my time. I had you booked for 11. Do you want to call me at 11 or noon my time?
You give me a sec, because I will not be at a school. So yeah, I can call you at 11 your time.
Okay, good. Sure. JIRKA will call, okay, to, okay, read me his stop stuttering story.
Yeah, my concept.
There you go. So you have 2 weeks to write it, and then you email it to me and read it to me then.
All right.
Okay, so that's the deal. You're doing great. Keep up the good work, but keep the pedal to the metal. Your speech should be improving all the time. Every day, you should be more comfortable. You should be it's like going to the gym. You keep curling a little bit more weight, and guess what? You get stronger. Same deal. So keep doing that. And I'll see you, Sam, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks at here.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
My pleasure,
Bye.
mate.